What's up, guys? Quick mic check. Make sure you could hear me all right. Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me okay? Thank you, sir. Okay. All right, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing this evening? So we're just taking a look at BTC to USDT per usual. So, yeah, all right, guys. I mean, last time we talked was roughly about 24 hours ago, and we're still on the 4-hour. Still on the 4-hour. I do enjoy duck from time to time. Yes. Okay, so what we were looking at last night is this divergence, right? We talked about this RSI, right? We said, you know, we had this low on the RSI, slightly higher low, right? Higher levels of relative strength are appearing, okay, are painting. We talked about breaking above this kind of heart line area, 50, kind of the midpoint of the RSI. And I mean, okay, guys, so look, just say you get a little bit of relief here. It's not a big deal. All you're going to do is something like this, okay? And if we were to see that, I mean, that's a good sign right there, guys. So don't be afraid of it if you get a small little dip. This is just normal, right? Just like on the way down, you had pullbacks to the upside, right? While on the way up, you have pullbacks to the downside. So if you get something like that, don't worry about it. So we'll look at what that might look like. But as we talked about, you know, this MACD right here, it started to wane, and you got a couple of these white kind of ticks on the positive momentum island there on the oscillator of just waning momentum, but and at that same time you got that wick low, right? So you ended up putting in a slightly lower low on price, but the bears were unable to even paint any sort of negative momentum at all when that happened. And again, the RSI put in higher levels. The MACD painted some just what's good for the bulls, right? Some just this 3 times bullish divergence without even having a negative island there. It's just really strong, guys. Really strong. Which is why if you get a pullback, I mean, geez, how it's not going to be that much. It's too strong right now. Price action is really strong. Now, that being said, we do have this blaringly obvious square up right here. You see this, guys? Where if price were to come back to basically 50K right there, I mean, it's probably not a big deal. We talk about this all the time, where this is your BART, right? So it goes up, you chop sideways a little bit. If you BART down, it gets bought up really fast. Okay, the wick gets bought up really quick and you get back to this level really fast, V-shaped recovery, and then you continue on, right? So even if you get it, it's nothing to worry about. All you're doing is just squaring up a level where the exchange can get out of that trade at a break-even price. Market goes back in the hands of participants. Price action goes back in the hands of market participants. They push, because the bulls at this point we feel are in control. They push price back up right where they had it and continue on with the plan, right? So so right now, okay, look, this is stuff that we accept, right? So when it occurs, it's just noise, right? We're not afraid of it. That's just the market attempting to shake us out of positions, but really it's just normal price action, right? Just a simple square up, right? Simple retracement, all it would be, right? Let's take a look at that. If by chance, this is kind of because the daily close, it's kind of a significant time right now. So if by chance you retrace, 786, not even, more of a 618, so kind of in that zone. Again, guys, though, it doesn't mean we have to square up right now. We could square this up on the way back down later. You don't have to do it right away. It's just an area to be aware of. What could even be more likely would just be a simple back test of its kind of neckline, right? And it's not even the same type of retrace. It's a much shallower one. You're just resetting yourself, back testing that heart line of the RSI, right? That 50 on the RSI. That's all you're doing. Maybe you see a double bottom here just to confirm this low time frame neckline, and then you continue on as planned. Either way, guys, the story is continue on as planned, okay? Don't be afraid of that stuff. Now, this is so strong that you might not even get any of that. If you did get it, here's what it looks like, right? Low time frame. X, A, B. It'd be like a cipher, okay? Because you got the lower low here, and we'd be looking for a 786 on a cipher. So basically, I mean, you're at that 786 for sure. So there's your cipher, but this could quickly get invalidated, turn into a shark, come back, do a morph into a 5-0, and run again, right? So it doesn't have to be a cipher, and even if it is, it'll play out around the square up, and then it's done, right? So if you do get this little pullback, what would we be looking for? We'd be looking for either continued bullish convergence or hidden bullish divergence, right? So that'd be the kind of thing we'd be looking to see on the oscillators if you get it. Again, guys, no guarantees that it's going to happen because the divergence is still playing out to the upside. So either way here, we seem to be in really good shape. No, I seriously doubt you get all the way back to this entry, but even if you did, guys, check this out. Even if you did this, okay, and then V-shaped from there, again, we see this too, where it's just a double bottom at the completion zone, guys. So none of this kind of stuff would be scary. Yes, would you get back some gains? Sure. But that's I don't know. To get back to 47 right now, I don't know. Everything's looking really solid. It's more likely you just get these little glips, little minor, small little retracements than something major like that. But again, even if you did, Just zoom out. Look at how massive this harmonic is. So what? We get a little double bottom right here. That's just a minuscule amount of price action compared to this entire pattern development. Okay, guys? So you can't freak out about a couple of candles here. Look how many candles it took to create this. What is a couple little candles right here going to do? Nothing. Okay? Ultimately, what we're not looking for a reversal here until this RSI and this MACD get up into this. Basically, this RSI has to start first, right? It's got to get, maybe you get your little pullback, but eventually you're going to get up here and you're going to get into overbought areas, okay? Overbought territory. At this point, we want to see the slightly lower levels of relative strength like this, okay? And at that same time, as price, maybe price kind of gives you that little pullback, and as you run up and you put in these highs, you put in a slightly higher high on price somewhere. You need to create some kind of divergence. You see what I'm saying? That we're nowhere near any of that kind of stuff happening. All we barely did was just barely get back to the midpoint. Like, we're barely getting started. So to start writing this off as finished, it's just like, man, I mean, let the thing play out a little bit. Let it breathe. Don't pull the plug so quick, right? Just be patient. This is all just normal price action, okay? So now, like we said, we're looking for bearish divergence on these things. We're far from that, okay? We have a lot of candles to paint before that story can happen. So what are we looking for here as far as targets go? We're looking with this cipher to hit this A and this C level up here, okay? Basically like a range, looking to target the range high, right? If this is the bottom of the range down here, right? This is the high points of the range, okay? So we'd be looking to target that zone between 61,800 and 64,500. Now that's just how the cipher would play out, okay? Does it mean we can't go higher than that? No, we can go higher than that. Because we talked about how do we do that? Well, we have this lower time frame. It's still 4 hour visible here, but basically we're painting another harmonic that's kind of, in line with the cipher as far as the way it would develop. So this first, the one we're painting right now, let me change the color on it so you guys can see it a little better. What we're painting here now is a shark, okay? So on this shark, the first area of interest here is going to be the 886, okay? That's right there, smack dab in the middle of the zone of the take profit area, target zone of the cipher. So everything's saying it's basically 63, okay? You basically make a box between the green lines of a zone, and the harmonic, the shark, falls right in between it, okay? So we're just looking at it like this. If that's all we get, we end up, that's probably the top, okay, at the moment, because it would be another lower high, right? We never swept it, okay? If that's all you get, you have to be aware of that. If we reject there and we start falling back below this target, start back testing them as resistance, and we could just never get back above them, and we start selling off, we got to be really alert at that point, okay? But is that right now? No, we're barely down here. Now, what we want to see have happen here is we want to see this go from an 886 at 63K. We want to see it sweep the highs. This is our bullish continuation scenario. So this is what we're looking for. A 113, okay? 113 right here, guys. So that's 66,500, okay? So 66,500 would be the 113. If we get this, okay, guys, this is what we want to see. Why? Because for one, you would hit both of the targets of the cipher. That's done, played out, okay? So we would say, all right, cipher's played out, cipher's gone now. Okay, so now we'd be looking for a 50% retrace from the 113. So let's mark the level. 50% retrace would be right here. Okay, guys? So at 56, 6. So we're basically saying go to 66 and then come back to 56. Okay? So this would look like this. You'd get up here into this levels. You'd sweep the high. Maybe some kind of double top there. Create some kind of divergence, and then you tank all the way back down to the 50% Dow's theory, 50% retrace, backtest the previous B of the shark, double bottom, confirm this as now support, and then we run again. And this is how we can sweep the highs again. And this, at this point, you find yourself at some interesting levels. Man, we've never seen $70,000 Bitcoin before, and a lot of people are getting awfully bearish right now. But this being said, if we do get 70K Bitcoin, I'm going to start getting bearish too. I'm going to be looking for shorts. But okay, so we backtest the 50, we run up to the 1618. There it is, guys. That's how we can get up there. 72,500. It would require the cipher in yellow to play out in full, hit both targets. Then the shark would fully develop, the bear shark would hit its furthest extension point, the 113, fail at that point, retrace 50% of the way back down to 56K, confirm as support, morph into a 5-0, and then run to the 1618. Okay, this is how you get there. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good as a possibility as of right now. Very probable outcome, especially because I don't think anyone's really expecting this. I think a lot of people they're still so shook from the last crash that they haven't even recovered from that yet. The PTSD is still there, right? So while they're, recovering, we're already long again. By the time they realize, oh shit, this is going to new all-time highs, well, the shark kicks in, we short them again, right? Rug them again. Then they're like, this is it, what a scam, goes down 50% of the way, we go long again, starts running without them again, they FOMO again, right? Hit the 1618, rug them again. So it's just a continuous game of try not to get rugged. Pretty much, guys. I mean, non-fucking stop fuckery. Okay? So, moving along. Again, guys, keep this in mind, okay? Divergence was here on Bitcoin, where you had lower levels on price, right? Lower lows with higher levels of negative momentum, higher levels of relative strength. So this was class A bullish divergence, okay? Now, I'm going to leave that open. Let's jump to ETH. Watch the price action in comparison to the oscillators as we switch charts. Boom. You see how they're going now in the same direction here? So somebody asked me earlier, why isn't this a head and shoulders? Why do you think this is going to break to the upside and not play out as a head and shoulders? I know somebody also said that, well, fuck, isn't this, aren't you diverging here bearishly? Right? And I get it. I get why you're saying that, okay? So somebody's looking at this and they're saying possible pullback, okay? So if this was bearish divergence if this was a head and shoulders, it is starting to play out. Is there a possibility that it is that? I mean, sure, anything is possible here, right, guys? Nobody has a crystal ball. We're just playing in terms of probability, but like we talked about earlier on Bitcoin, we said, look, guys, we're barely in this midpoint of this newly kind of found wave of relative strength. I feel personally that these ships don't sail until you get oversold, sell off, do it again, build the divergence in up here. You see how the divergence was in oversold territory up here, guys? Do you see what we're looking at there? Just zooming in on this section and comparing it to price action at the same time, and then you had this sell-off, right? Okay, well, that was clearly 3x bearish divergence in oversold territory with definitely waning momentum on the MACD, right? So you like to see an island happen between here like this, but I mean, either way, guys, that was it. So we're trying to find this over here. It has not happened yet. All that's happened so far is you have this, okay? You just have the bullish convergence. The bearish divergence, in my opinion, will play out on an entirely new level of momentum, and maybe even give you a third one. Okay, guys? Like this. At this point, that's when I'm going to start to get a little more concerned, because by then you should also be seeing it on the RSI. You know what I mean? So at this point, this is what we're looking for on reversals. Okay? Are we there yet? In my opinion, absolutely not. I'm not looking to close these longs at this point. It's just not something I'm looking at doing, okay? Is it possible to sell off a bit? Of course, we said that, guys, but again, we also talk about this, right? Remember when we make these trend lines and then all of a sudden the trend line begins to go parabolic on us because we basically start to put these higher lows in, right? Where we had this initial low on the kind of dump there, but quickly the asset recovered. And in an uptrend, which we're clearly in an uptrend, right? If you zoom way out, is this not an uptrend, right? Are you not in an uptrend? Okay? Are you not in an uptrend? Okay? So in an uptrend, an asset that when you have a major pullback like we saw in Bitcoin, okay, which assets according to Wyckoff crashed the least during the pullback, and then which assets also then quickly recovered, right? You're looking for strength in the trend, okay? Strength in the trend is what you want to see. Are you getting that? Yeah, I mean, we're clearly seeing that here. So remember, guys, we paint these lows, we paint slightly higher lows, okay? From there, this is when we're looking for this parabolic price action, guys. We've done this before many a time, okay? So can you come and touch these? Sure, that would be your pullback. Slightly higher high again, hidden bullish divergence, run it again, right? Do you have to do it? No. Can you do it? Sure. Not a problem. Not a problem, okay? So, again, on ETH, we're basically looking for fibbing from previous high to low, fibbing from previous high to low, coinciding 1618 between 2,925 and 2,975. We're basically looking for ETH to go to 3K. We're going to front run it, obviously, but that's basically the target, guys. ETH to 3K. So We've identified the target area up in the box. We already have it highlighted, okay? So now we're kind of looking again at ways to find ourselves there, right? And currently we are butting up against a major area of interest, right? We're above 2500. So in essence, I mean, you could bring this down to these closes and say we've already done it. I mean, we're basically on it. But either way, guys, this is a significant area that if we can hold and flip, right, we're basically looking for our break, this overhead, kind of critical overhead resistance line, right? Break this supply line, right? The supply is no more. There is no more supply. We're going to buy it all up. Because of that, we're naturally just going to shoot up into the next range. Okay? But these BARTs will happen on us, guys. So look, if this holds, right? Break, hook, go. You're going to go. You're going to BART, and you're going to come right back to it. Boom. So just watch out, okay? So get ours when we can get it, okay? Because it's coming. And then if this one doesn't hold this time and you fail and you get below this one and you fail and you start back testing these things as resistance, it's over, boys. That's the kind of thing we do not want to see, okay? Or it is the kind of thing we want to see if we've now flipped short, right? We short the BART, come back test the previous neckline, see if it holds, kind of thing. We'll just have to see. But yeah, I mean, basically this is what we're looking for. The fact that ETH is above 2,500 already today, and holding, good stuff here, guys. The new daily is alive, so we haven't nuked immediately when the daily, closed or anything like that. So all is well. All is well. So again, we just want to continue to paint higher lows, right? So again, if we see some kind of retracement into this level, it would just be like that partial decline, right? Partial decline, and then wham, breakout. Back test, go. So this is what we're looking for on Ethereum, and we're likely looking for Ethereum to lead the way because Ethereum, we said this is stronger looking than Bitcoin right now. So you would figure the stronger of the two assets would likely be the one that leads the charge here and outperforms the other said asset during this period of time we're looking for on this one particular trade. Okay, that's it. A good time to enter ETH if you're not in ETH would be, again, the confirmation break, hook, and go above the neckline, okay? Because, again, you might get a pullback here, so no need to enter yet, because what if it sells off a little bit? You could have got a better entry. If you do see some kind of double bottom, tweezer double bottom, hidden bullish divergence in the middle of the night at a slightly higher low here, take it. Or wait for this break, hook, take the hook, take the confirmation, and then go from there. Either way, up only. Okay? So, let's move along to... Oh, this is Ethereum to Bitcoin. So, Ethereum to Bitcoin here. Let's see, we got this one. We were looking at the hidden bullish divergence, okay? Nothing has changed. In fact, it's just only basically kind of, I mean, it's playing out, right? At the bottom, right? At the basin of this negative momentum island, we engulfed, right at that base. And, the momentum started waning, and we painted just this scrub little, weird little, not even a positive island. So you figure it's coming now. So what would this look like here on Ethereum? Basically, it's again, guys, we're running into an overhead resistance area where you could kind of see what's happening here, right? So we have this overhead supply line resistance, and we have this kind of upsloping price action that's just starting to butt up into it. I mean, yeah, could this open up a little more? Sure, whatever. Either way, it's like our 3 times a charm kind of thing, right? Where here was strike 1, here was strike 2, and then usually on that strike 3 is when you break, hook, and take off, okay? So this is what we're looking for on Ethereum to Bitcoin. Again, it's because we just said this, we're expecting at some point ETH to really pull in front here based on both the ETH to USDT chart and the ETH to BTC chart, okay? Yeah. Litecoin, USDT. On Litecoin, we were looking for basically kind of a cipher. We had the bullish divergence on the MACD. We had bullish divergence on the RSI. We're starting to paint now a higher low, right? We had a low, a lower low, and now a slightly higher low. So you could see this momentum shifting price action structure, right? Where we could just kind of take this big area. So let me get rid of that so we can see this a little clearer. We're basically kind of looking at this large area here, guys, as we could kind of do it like this. Here's this midpoint down here, and you could see how just this changing in structure, right? This rounding bottom price action structure, okay? So that's how we want to see trends reverse. We also want to see that happen with coinciding variables on the oscillators, okay? So what did we paint here? We had the X high, right? And then we sold off on that initial crash, got a little bit of a recovery, 50% retrace, not quite a 618. We put in the slightly lower low than the previous A. If this would have been a 618, a slightly higher, just like this, guys, slightly higher 618, we would have been looking for this C to stay at the 786. If so, this is how we get Gartley's, okay? But because this put in a lower low than the A, and because this B was not a 618, it was actually closer to a 50% retrace, right? The lower low, which is the 1272, 1414 type low on C, we would now be targeting a 786D cipher, okay? At this point, we'd be looking for Litecoin to either fail at the cipher and sell off, and we'd confirm a cipher, or we'd look to invalidate the cipher, take this all the way up to the 113, and flip this into a shark. Backtest the 50, morph into the 50, and go again. So critical times, though, will happen at this 786, okay? So we need to keep this in mind. We need to check the macro Bitcoin, Ethereum, see what levels have they reached by the time Litecoin sees that area, okay? This 786 in blue here, critical area at 307. And remember, that was our take profit target area previously on Litecoin, guys. Last time we were in a long on Litecoin, we exited at 304. Now, your 786 and your harmonic D PRZ short entry target area are coinciding with that previous 304, 307 type area, okay? So it's a critical, we're starting to mark it as a very critical area. It's basically 300, okay? Psychological round number. Makes sense, right? So when we get back to 300 on Litecoin, we just need to see what's going on, and we just need to be aware. But right now, look at the candle that's painting as we're speaking, okay? You're engulfing, again, everything. So I'm not sure what Bitcoin's doing right now, but we'll wrap up there at the end. But I have to imagine prices going up. Maybe somebody could throw it in the chat. Just say up only. But yeah, I'll just keep moving forward for the time being. Okay, so Litecoin targeting $300 area, reevaluate situation, okay? YFI, same thing. We're painting these sharks, guys. Sharks. And not only are they sharks, but remember we talked about them almost being dragons too. We said dragons are everywhere, right? Where we we just have these basically downsloping trend lines that we're breaking out of them. They're kind of double bottoming, double bottom where the dragon kind of paints its feet. This spine gets broken. We target the golden zone. We're already in it here on YFI. If you just go from the B high to the C low, the golden zone is between the 382 and the 618. We're right in the middle of it. Okay, so on the more low time frame kind of structure, and if we want to drag that up and go to the actual high and check the golden zone from the high to low, we're actually butting right up against the beginning of it. By golden zone, guys, we talk about this simply being the fib retracement between the 382 and the 618 golden ratio. Okay, golden retrace zone, golden retrace 50K 618. Okay, ideally we're going to find ourselves in this area. Because we hit a golden retrace zone does not mean that that we retrace at that point. It just means it's a very likely area of retracement. It does not signal a reversal in itself. It just signifies a retrace zone that commonly occurs. Okay, very commonly occurs. Okay, ideally though, again, we're going to have these critical areas. When Litecoin gets to 304, 307, 300 area that we just talked about, YFI is going to be at 55K. Critical areas. Do we lose it, or do we morph into or do we hit the 113 back test? Then at that point, you get the 50 retrace, morph into the 50, run the highs again. Somewhere in there, though, we gotta be aware, and the awareness is gotta start at the 886 for YFI, which is 55,000, 56,000 area. Okay. This is Bitcoin Cash, guys. We talked about this one last night. Look at this. In fact, not only did we talk about this last night, but we also talked about this other worthless garbage asset called XRP. Both of them, we said, aside from the, of course, Ethereum, right, being just an absolute machine right now, we said it's funny that a couple of the best looking setups right now happen to be on the shittiest assets, Bitcoin Cash and XRP. But I love it because all it does is give me another opportunity to short Bitcoin Cash above $1,000, which is one of my favorite things to do in crypto. Okay, guys, so we're looking here at a cipher, bearish cipher on BCH. We have a clear, discernible double bottom that happened around 700, 720 area, okay, where we put in a slightly higher low on the more recent bottom, the wick, and look, it was simply just a wick, guys. That's what we're talking about. When these just wick down, they square up, then they get immediately bought up and engulfed on the very next candle. That wasn't bearish. That was bullish selling, if you want to call it something like that. It just needed to be done so the exchange could square up, get out at a break-even price, put in another slightly lower or higher level of relative strength and momentum on the MACD, paint the divergence, Bukowski double bottom, neckline, break the neckline, back test, and go. You can clearly see that. You can clearly see here that you basically painted some resistance that was once resistance, you broke and tried to hold it, failed, and then came and butted up against it again, broke through it, back tested it, held it, regarded it as support, and now you're running, guys. This is the break, the hook, the go on the low time frame. Bukowski double bottom measured move of the structure would say take the low, clone it, bring it up to the neckline, and this is going to be our next area of interest initially, not the top, locally. Look at what this would also coincide with, a square up looking left, right? So when we have these areas of interest, it's also 9.25. Makes sense because that's just like this, anything like that at this point. 925, 950, 975, 1000, right? We're kind of just playing these things like that at this point, as far as where these square ups happen, where these critical round numbers happen, where these Fibonacci extensions occur. Where they all begin to align, we see potential pullbacks. Again, these could just be BARTs, guys. This could be a BART, okay? You go up, you hit the level, you square up, you chop, you BART your way back down, you hit this, you V-shape recovery, you come back to the level now doesn't hold, third time's a charm, you run again, break, hook, go, you take it again, okay? It's just, it happens. So, nothing to worry about, nothing to worry about. Okay, so next area of interest, ideally we would like to hit 9.25 on BCH, but ultimately our target is to tag 1,000, break above it, and actually get back into the 1100, 1130 area where we would see the 786 fib extension from the previous X high on April 17th to the C low April 23rd. This is our 786 kind of area. Okay, guys? So this would be our zone. We would mark these zones like so. We layer out. Okay, we layer out if the divergence is there when we get there. Again, if it's not, it probably will be, but if it's not, we then look to see if this changes and maybe it's a shark. We look for that 113. Okay, for the meantime, we're still in the long. Solana, SOL. Okay, we talked about this one last night. We're going through everything we went through last night, guys, just so you could see a recap on things and how they play out after we identify certain variables, okay? That's the point. We're just back testing strategy. Every time, that's all we do. We see how our strategy plays out. The more and more it plays out correctly, the more we're confirming that we're on the right track. Okay, and the more we're on the right track, the more we trust in the system. When we trust in a system, we have a plan. If we have a plan, no point in having a plan if you're not going to follow it, right? And no point in trading if you're not going to have a plan. So look, guys, we've created a plan. Let's deploy said plan, and let's see if said plan plays out. And if it continuously doesn't, well, then we need to seriously evaluate our plan. But we've found that in the long run, our plan typically actually plays out to our benefit quite often. Okay, quite often. Some of you may be new. You don't know about all that. Some of you are not new. You do know about all that. Just the way it goes. Everyone was always new at some point. So what we were talking about last night on SOL is, look, guys, it wasn't an area to be jumping into a long. This thing was pretty, I mean, geez. What was Sam talking shit not that long ago? Sell me your soul for $3. I'll buy it all from you, fucking pussies. That was down here. That was not that long ago. Alright? So, that was like right here. We're over here. Whoops. I was looking for duration. Back when Sam called everyone a bitch, it's been 87 days, okay? Not that long. Okay, so that's 3 months. Alright, so let's zoom back in. But look, guys, we were just 3 months ago, we were $3. Now we're $50, okay? Looking at $50. So, if we, you're talking about a run from $3 to $50. To think that you can't sell off a little after that is actually just being greedy, right? Guys, the retrace is coming. It's just a matter of, it's not if, it's it's happening, right? Okay, so look, we said look at the white lines on the oscillators, on the MACD, on the RSI. The white line is going in the same direction as the white line is on price, right? All those trend lines are converging in the same up-sloping direction, okay? That's called Class B bullish convergence, okay? So we said this isn't an area to be going long, but if you were in a long, like I know some of you are, that there was a little bit left in the tank still. And we're seeing that happening right now, okay? So basically what we want to see now have happen is this relative strength is going to run again, okay? We like to see it get into oversold territory above the 70 on the RSI. At that point, we'd like to see price put in slightly higher highs. Ideally, you're going to hit that 50. You might even break it because it might take a second for this RSI to develop. Well, that's your window of opportunity on SOL to get as much profit as you can out of a current long situation. Okay, so ideally, just keep an eye on this RSI. Watch it get overbought. Once it's overbought, watch the MACD. When they both start to diverge bearishly, raise the stop. Put the trailing stop on tight 1% trail. Or just manually trail it. Or just start layering out. Just at some point they'll get really fucking alert, okay? So your window is tightening. This is not a time to be greedy. Sure, this is a time to squeeze a little more out, but just cautiously have a stop, right? Cautiously have a stop at this point. SOL, $50 ideally. Just watch a divergence. Again, let's see where Bitcoin and Ethereum end up kind of slowing up at on their charts, and let's then look back at SOL and see if you have that bearish divergence at that point, right? FTT. Okay, guys, on FTT, we said, okay, let me clean this up a little bit so you guys can see what's going on here. Okay, guys, look, last night we said we had this downsloping trend line here. Last night, what did we paint here? We engulfed through this neckline. We've tested the supply line. Now we're basically riding it and holding it really, really nice as support. That's really nice looking for this past basically 24 hours worth of candles here. Okay, guys, we're just riding that sucker, and now you're beginning to show a little bit of, price waking up here. So ideally, you'd like to hold this. You then need to sweep the B of the cipher. This is a bearish cipher as well. So we need to get up above the B, which is around $53, and ideally we're targeting $56 here on FTT. So FTT, yeah, looking good, guys. Cake, okay, so on Cake, what we talked about here last night was that we hit this 1618 golden mean ratio and we rejected it. We see this happen, okay, guys? We had a measured move, we sold off, put in the slightly higher low, hidden bullish divergence, we ran again, hit the golden mean ratio, okay? From there, we've continued to sell off, back tested it, regarded it again as further resistance, and are selling off again. What happens here, though, guys, is something weird. It's this weird price action where even though you've already done it, you still end up somehow finding this bullshit price action strength to sweep the high one more time. Okay? You're going to sweep it one more time. You're going to sweep this high. This is how you're going to create the bearish divergence, because you have to put in a slightly higher high on price while the oscillators put in lower levels of relative strength and of momentum on the MACD. So you see these 1618s hit, Then you see this optimal entry, slightly higher high, just above them. It stops out early shorters on purpose. It's just targeting them, and then you eventually sell off. They were right. They were just early. They weren't wrong. They were just early. It happens. Okay. That the only way you can sit on your hands there is if your leverage is low enough and your position size is low enough. Otherwise, you get stopped or licked in a very tight window here, and it runs eventually to your target area anyways. It just does it without you, right? So, okay, so cake, I mean, this is not an area to be entering along. This is an area to be exiting. You're basically looking at distribution at resistance, right? Like, this is Composite Man dumping off his position, holding price up enough, taking it sideways long enough to allow him to dump on everybody, including the slightly higher high, all-time high, really dump the rest of it. And then when he's done there, that's when he hits the market sell, market buy, flip position button, and you get the Darth Maul doji that just wrecks everybody to both sides. Well, that's just Composite Man switching it up on you. He's just saying, all right, time to go the other way, right? We're at the bottom, let's send it, right? So it's just the way it is. You find the whales, you ride the trend with them. Trend is your friend, you ride with them, you don't oppose them. Do not have the strength to fight Blastos, the mighty tortoise. XRP, fucking kidding me? Alright, 50% retrace, Dow's theory, just hit it. We're in the middle of the golden zone. Last night we talked about this. We had just broken the spine of the dragon. Here's the slightly higher low, the feet of the dragon, okay? As you can see here, we are now painting into the tail, and we are into the golden retrace zone. The golden retrace zone looks like this. You are there, okay? What can you see now? I mean, this thing's getting stupid on us, okay? This trend line accelerated dramatically, okay? Whereas the first trend line was I don't know, normal in trend, right? Just standard. Whereas the trend now has gone absolutely vertical. You see what I'm talking about, guys? It's just gone absolutely apeshit vertical. So can you get some pullbacks here? Man, possibly, because I mean, look at that. No signs of it yet. No signs of it yet. But this thing's running. Okay, guys, so target areas, obviously we're targeting the 618 next, which will be the top of the golden zone at $1.57. $1.57, next area of interest on XRP, but I see a pretty blaring square up right here, okay, at $1.70. And I also, if that coincides with the fib extension, 786. There you go, guys. That to me looks like a much sweeter area, okay, of interest. But yeah, XRP's up like, I don't know, 30% since we've last talked about it. 33% maybe since we last talked about it. And that's spot, guys. Spot. We're talking spot. What a shitty asset, though. Trash. Okay, guys, Stellar. Look what we said on Stellar. We said we were doing the same thing. We're painting the dragon, broke out of the spine. We painted the slightly higher low, and this one was even a more significant higher low. And now we've touched the top of this kind of channel, right? So this channel, we went up, we touched the top of it. Now you see how we kind of painted within this channel where it's possible that we could come back and test this heart line once again. Doesn't mean we have to, but we come back, test this heart line, and just continue within this upsloping channel to the high side half until we eventually break out. XRP just did it right now. So is it possible this does it too? Sure, it did it right here. It just said, I don't even need any more of this channel. I'm done with you, channel. Yeah, it's time to run. So again, if we're talking golden retrace zone only, we are in it. Okay, this is the golden retrace zone on stellar lumens. You are within it. Upsloping channel, up channels. People, again, guys, we're just painting bear traps now. Do people look at these channels because of the previous price action to the downside, and then you have these upsloping flagging channels like this at the bottom of price action like this? Everyone's going to be calling it a bear flag every fucking time. And then what happens? Breaks out to the upside, wrecks everybody again. Like, to me, what I look for, what could inflict the most pain. To me, that sounds like a pain inflictor right there. Paint a bear pole, bear flag, and then break to the upside and just destroy all the bears, right? Rug them again to the upside. You know, not unheard of. Okay, so what are we targeting? Again, just like we saw in XRP, there's a pretty discernible square up at 63 cents, which is this red line here, and we're also going to target that between the 786 and the 886. So we kind of make a nice little zone up here, guys, where we could take price. Okay, if and when we reach that area, that's how you can see. That's where you see these bats, these bearish bats type to start to paint. Okay, so we're looking at these 886s for these bats. So this 886 would be right here in the top of that zone up there. So once we hit that level, it's basically 64, 65 cents on Stellar XLM. That needs to be an area where we really watch out. And guys, can you see it look like a dragon now? Like, with the left side of the harmonic being the body and the head of the dragon, you got the double bottom as the feet, and then the right side of the harmonic being the tail. It's a dragon. Okay, moving along. EOS running. EOS running. I actually opened a EOS to USDT bull on FTX for this particular trade. So it's using leverage, but based on the asset itself contains a 3 times leverage based on price action. It's not like futures leverage where you're actually throttling the leverage to 3x. This is just a bull asset pair, which they also have bear asset pairs with a 3x bear. So currently we're in an EOS USDT bull 3x long position from the slightly higher low on EOS around $4.75 area. And again, we painted the double bottom, Bulkowski double bottom, current more local double bottom being slightly higher than the previous low. We are painting again some kind of shark harmonic where we're looking for $8.50 area on EOS, which is an 886 fib extension. Currently you are in the golden zone. Next first level of interest will be around $7, but ultimately we'd like to see $8.50 on EOS. SNX, Dragon, again. Dragons everywhere. Somebody asked me earlier, why do I think this doesn't on ETH? Why do I think this isn't a head and shoulders that breaks to the downside? I said because there's too many fucking dragons, bruh. These dragons don't fuck around. They do not fuck around, okay? Look at the discernible spine, okay? Trend line breakout engulfing. Bulkowski double bottom. Shark harmonic. Bullish divergence into now bullish convergence, upsloping channel breakout to the upside. I mean, bro, this is the kind of stuff we look for. That's it. There isn't anything else. This is it. This is the magic. This is what it is. There isn't nothing different. You're looking at it. You have arrived. You're here. Take some fucking notes. Take a picture. Do something. Fucking run in a circle or something. Just be present and understand what you're looking at and continue to identify this. time and time again. Don't overposition. Don't over leverage. Stop below the lowest low on the first double bottom, targeting the golden zone first, ultimately 786, 886 deep retraces. If and when you can hold, you then target the highs, sweep the highs, 1272, 1414, 1618. That's it. Once you're there, you get the fuck out, you move on. If it goes another mile, great. Cool story, bro. We don't care. We don't care. We look for the next area of opportunity and we capitalize, okay? So, on SNX, again, if everything holds up the way we're kind of looking at it doing, between what we mean by that, the macro, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, right? The strength. As long as they hold up as they should, then we should see SNX play out to hit some targets. There's a very, very, very discernible area here where we have some square up price action. It's like this box here. So let's throw the fib on it. We fib it. What do you know? 786, area of interest. Okay, 786. What else are we going to be looking for in this area? We're going to be looking for harmonics. So what kind of harmonics would we have in this 786 area? We'd be looking for an 886 on a shark. Again, though, you're coinciding. You're between two fib levels, guys. Sometimes that's as good as you can get. Okay, so you have this shark, which you look for 1618 on the C. You got a almost 1618. This would be targeting an 886. Okay, so we've created an area where we have a square up, potential square up, which the square up doesn't have to stop anything. It just means, hey, we squared it up. So the square up happens, you get a little sideways chop there, but then ultimately you continue on up, 886. Okay. 886 would put us at $22. Would it be over? Not necessarily, guys. This is a shark. So the shark, again, if its maximum potential occurred, it would go to a 113, sweep the highs. 113 would be all the way up here at $24. Once we hit a 113, at that point, we'd be looking for the bullish 5-0, right? How do we get the bullish 5-0? We fib from the current discernible swing low, April 23rd, to at what would be our current swing high if we got the 113, $24. We would then be targeting a 50% retrace, which is right here. 50% retrace is where a bearish shark would hit, double bottom, confirm, morph into a bullish 5-0, and run again. This would be another second area where you could take a trade to the long side here. Also, you can be in a trade to the long side from here, anywhere in this area, stop below the previous low, anywhere you got this, okay? Doesn't matter because your target is up here, okay? So you could even buy right where it's at and you're still fine. And then from up there, this is how you would be shorting it back down to this 50% level here, right? So you guys can see how not only can we make money to the upside, but we make money to the downside, and then we make money to the upside again, right? Bulls are making money, bears are making money, greedy pigs are getting slaughtered, okay? Don't be the greedy pig. Just take what the bulls give you, take what the bears give you, get yours, get out, move on, okay? Wave analysis, SNX, shitcoin. Okay, we've gotten back to the traditional asset area of the show. We went over a couple of these last night as well. Okay, guys. So, let me show you. We've been talking about this. Why? Because it's the dragon. Okay, you have a slightly higher high on price. Okay, you have a neckline. Okay, the spine of the dragon. Okay, and then what did you do? You went up and hit the fucking 886, and then it sold off. Oh my God. Okay, what are we looking at on everything? What did we just do on everything? We just broke out of all these spines. We're sitting right in this area on everything. So we have this potential whammos coming, then this little bullshit sell-off, and then ultimately this slightly higher high. Right there, you were probably painting the divergence. It's it's hard to see because I'm inverted and the oscillators don't invert as well. But anyways, guys, that's a bearish dragon on Apple that happened February 12th. You sold off, you double bottomed, we entered here. What did we see to enter? Okay. Not only did the bearish dragon hit an 886, right? Where it potentially could play out, right? Where the shark stays a shark and never morphs into a 5-0 because it failed to hit the 113, stays in 886 and sells off. Well, that's what happened here, but it was just an inverted dragon, right? So by selling off, it actually ran back up. So our entry was this slightly, it was here, and it went up right when we entered. Yes, it sold off a little. We were underwater a little, whatever. I don't give a shit. Then it went up again, okay? This is where you got to be patient and not get shook out, okay? So we're now running to these take profit target levels of this new harmonic, which is now a bullish shark. Okay, so we're looking to hit these levels, and that's it. Take profit target area 138, next one 144 on Apple. Once we get there, we reevaluate the situation and we see what price has now presented us with. Okay, X, A, B, C low, 886, right? 886, bearish bat, 886 right here. 886 bearish bat allows you to have take profit target 1, and it says no, sorry, no target 2 for you, no soup for you. Okay, but look, this is why we take profit at target 1, because you're not always guaranteed target 2. So something like that on Apple. But again, look guys, all we did here is we marked these two areas and we layer, right? We layer. So if you were layered all up in that zone, not only would you have hit take profit target at target 138, but you would have went and filled all the way up into the 142 area, 141.50, right? So you got to layer, boys. You got to layer out. Limit, not market. These are limit fills. You're getting maker fees. You're not paying fucking stupid just market fees, right? For market buying, just being an ape with the red button. Don't be an ape. Be methodical. All right, end phase energy. Let me get rid of the chalk here, the paint, and look what we did today, guys. We broke above the neckline and we back tested it as support. Okay, we're holding above the neckline. What happens tomorrow? Earnings. If earnings are bullish, we send it. Even with bullish earnings, you know what I could see happening? A stupid wick down, fill the gap, and then send it. Days that open red often end green, guys. It's like just a setup. It's like a reset. Reset the oscillator and run. Not even anything to worry about. Happens. At that point, you look for hidden bullish divergence. Slightly higher low would maintain. Another gap's filled. Earnings report comes out good. Get back above the neckline. Break hook and go. Target the highs. Moving along, Tesla above the neckline, just like what we're looking at here on end phase. End phase is like right here, where you barely broke and are back testing. So maybe we do get this bullish earnings. You just send it, and then later you kind of come back down and fill that gap with a little wick that eventually gets immediately bought up, back test the neckline as support, and then run again. Guys, these traditionals are very, very, very respectful of the technical analysis. So the more liquidity here, the more respectful. Okay, so what are we looking at? Tesla, we are looking at a bearish, a kind of a combination between a bearish Gartley and a bearish bat, where we would be targeting the 786, which is the low point of that gray box around 820, or the high side 886 around 850 on Tesla. Alright guys, yeah, back to Bitcoin. Check out Ethereum real quick. Yeah, everything's just kind of hanging out. Indecision dojis, Litecoins engulfing, YFI's indecision doji, Bitcoin Cash, price looking up, SOL engulfing, FTT looking good. So Yeah, guys, basically, I mean, the point of tonight's stream is so you guys could see patterns in, multiple patterns across similar patterns across multiple assets. So you can identify this pattern. The more you see it, the more you'll be able to identify it in the future when it develops and paints itself present. So that's what you're looking for, guys. That's how you're being taught how to fish. So take note of the way we see these patterns develop, the way we see the turning of the trend in the price action, the way the oscillators align with price, the way we find SR flips with necklines, right? All of these things come together as one, okay? And that's where you create your edge. And that's where you enter your positions. You don't over position yourself. You don't over leverage yourself. You just enter a position like a normal person, okay? And you set target orders. You set those stops, you set those targets, you layer those targets out, and you patiently allow it to develop and play. Okay, guys? That's all you can do. That's how we trade. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Catch you guys in the Discord later on. I'll probably take a couple chart requests later on if it doesn't get too late here. Grab some dinner first and then kind of pop back in, check on everybody. So. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed tonight's stream. Everybody have a good night. Ducks out.